to think in English? And more importantly, how can this help you on your journey to English fluency? Watch this video and find out. I'm gonna give you 3 tips to help you think in English. I will show you how this practice will help you speak more clearly, more naturally in English. And I will also tell you about a dream I had last night that is connected to the lesson, okay? So stay with me. If you don't know me very well, hello there. I'm Teacher Prix, and I'm going to help you talk to anyone, anywhere, anytime in English. Make sure to subscribe to my channel because every week I bring different kinds of English lessons to make you a better English speaker. So consider subscribing, and if you have already done that, thank you so much. I appreciate. Make sure to hit the like button. Now, guys, it's a powerful tool, okay? And it's definitely going to help you on your journey to fluency. It'll help you improve your reaction time. And as I said, the only reason I'm making this video today is because I had a crazy dream last night. Yes. And in this dream, I got the idea of today's video. Yes, that's why I'm here making this video, because of the crazy dream I had last night. Well, I don't know when you're watching this, but it was last night for me, right now. Anyway, I will tell you about the dream, so stay with me, okay? But maybe you don't know me so well and you are giving me a chance to teach you, and you could be thinking, but yeah, why? Why think in English, you know? Guys, at a pre-intermediate level or even intermediate level, you need to improve your reaction time. And what is that? I ask you a question. How much time do you spend thinking? Do you get stuck trying to think of what to say? That's your reaction time. Thinking in English, practicing this, because it's not natural to us, okay? We are no native speakers. So practicing this skill will help you have a better reaction time when you are in conversations in English, or maybe having a job interview, or maybe when you're making presentations in English, or perhaps when you're traveling abroad. So that's why this is an important practice, okay? Now, does it happen naturally? Oh, I just woke up this morning and I feel like thinking in English. No. It doesn't happen naturally, okay? We are non-native speakers, so that is not going to happen naturally to us. But this is a skill, in my opinion, this is a skill, and you can improve your ability to think in English with the right practice. And that's what I'm going to show you today, okay? Now, it is not an impossible task, and eventually, my goal is eventually, at some time in the future, with consistent practice, you will find yourself thinking in English more naturally, okay? Not automatically, but you will be thinking in English more naturally. That happened to me. It's connected to the dream I'm gonna tell you. It happened to my students, many of my students from the academy, when they are sharing feedback with me about their improvement, about their fluency after following my program. They all tell me they're thinking in English. And why? Because of small changes they made in their study routine, okay? Now, guys, before I move on, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, and but let's keep rolling. Number 1, the first thing you need to do to speed up, okay? I'm going to give you 3 ideas, 3 things you need to do to speed up your thinking process, thinking in English process, because I imagine you already think, right? You know what I mean. So, intentionally think in English. Because we are no native speakers, we are not naturally going to start thinking in English. So when you begin this process, you need to intentionally stop and in your mind, focus on the English language. So you need to do this intentionally. So I recommend you start with a few minutes a day, maybe 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 5 minutes. And in your mind, you will create short sentences in English. You can answer a question. Maybe you can go to Google, type a question, and as you see the question, you try to answer in your mind, thinking, oh, okay, so in my opinion, and then you start thinking of the answer in your mind, okay? This is what I call intentional practice. And you can even do this to practice your speaking. But here I'm focusing on thinking in English. But this needs to be consistent, okay? You don't need to be like crazy trying to do this for hours. No, it's not going to work. Believe me, okay? The secret is in the consistent plan, okay? Is in being consistent with this practice. So if you want to speed up your process of thinking in English, start today, set the timer, okay? Set a timer, 2 minutes, and then think of a question, think of a story, think of something in English, but it has to be intentional, okay? Because this doesn't happen naturally to us when we start on this journey, okay? It doesn't happen. I agree with you, it doesn't. But with time, things will change, okay? The second thing that is not connected with thinking, okay? Let's leave the mind on here for a second. Immerse in the English language, okay? And what is that supposed to mean? I want you to try to connect everything you do in your everyday life, everything you do, to English. So I will give you some practical examples about myself. I meditate every day. What do? I love, me, Priscilla, I love guided meditation. What is guided meditation? Someone is telling me stuff. Now, you're going to imagine and then take a deep breath. All the meditation is guided. And I do that in English. Yeah. So I recommend doing that. This is something I do. I like to watch videos on YouTube about exercise. I do that in English. I like to watch videos about marketing, personal development, spirituality in English. So I immerse in the English language throughout my day. Recipes, I do them, I search them in English. I watch videos about them in English. I take my notes in English. Why? Because I am immersing in the English language. Even memes, you know, those short videos on Reels or on YouTube Shorts, I watch them in English. I am immersing in the English language, okay? So this is an important part of the process to help you think in English. Because guys, you will think of something that you constantly see, that you're constantly in contact with. So the more you see the language around you, the more you listen to the language, the more you will immerse in the language. As a result, you may even start dreaming in English. I'll tell you about my dreams. Stay with me, okay? And number 3, here you're going to use your reading and listening practice. You know, with my students in the academy, in every module, they have reading and listening activities connected with English speaking. And one thing that I always tell my students, I give them many specific recommendations for them to be successful. But when they're trying to think in English, when they want to be thinking in English and improve their reaction time, this is the recommendation I give. After you read something, okay, let's say you read a short article on the internet or a page of a book, what are you going to do? In your mind, I want you to reflect upon the information you read or the information you listened to. What is to reflect? I want you to think about it. Okay, how do I feel about this information? Do I agree? Do I disagree? What did I learn in this article? What did I learn in this video? That is reflecting, okay? And if you want to improve your English speaking, I recommend you do this by speaking orally, use your voice, and to speed up your thinking, your reaction time by thinking about it, okay? You can do the 2 practices. That's usually what I do with my students inside the academy. They need to practice describing everything they read and listen to. So this is going to stimulate your brain to think in English because you're reading information in English, then you're reflecting upon it. Okay, what did I learn? How do I feel about this? And all of this is mental practice. And with the other two recommendations, you will be completely immersed in the language, and you don't even need to travel abroad to do that, okay? Now, the dream. Priscilla, tell me about the dream. I want to know. And it's connected with the lesson because it gave me this idea. Last night, there I was sleeping, and then I started dreaming. And guys, it was so nice because in this dream, I was in a large auditorium. Okay, there were many people, and in this room, this really large room, I was giving a presentation in English. Okay, and I remember there were people talking to me, and I made one presentation. Okay, and in the first presentation, I remember that two members were sitting down in front of me and they were talking to each other. And then they told me that, oh, you used the word incorrectly. And I was like, no, I didn't. In the dream, this all in the dream, okay? And there's more. They told me that, oh, you said some concerns and you should have said a lot of concerns. And I was like, what? This doesn't make any sense. This is stupid. And when I looked at them and I said, no, I don't need to. And then the presentation is stopped there. After some time, I don't know why, but I had to make the second presentation again. Okay, I have no idea why. The dreams are crazy. Okay, they don't have a beginning or end. But I finished the first presentation and then I had to make the second presentation. And I remember that I had like a notebook. Okay, I had written a lot. I prepared the second presentation and I was confident about this presentation. And I remember seeing the words in English in the notebook. I was like, what? And when I was about to start the presentation, the notebook, poof, disappeared. I couldn't find my notes. And I started to feel really nervous. Two friends came to talk to me. And I remember that one of the friends was an old school coordinator of mine, okay? She was my boss many years ago. And she came to talk to me to see what was going on. She was like, Priscilla, what is happening? You can't give up, they can't give. Did they tell me to give up, or they told me not to give up? I think they told me to stop. Like, you know what? Let's let someone else make the presentation. That's what they were saying to me. But I didn't want to give up. I didn't want to stop. I prepared myself. But remember, there were two people. There were many people watching, but there were two men in front of me sitting on a chair, each one on different chairs, and they looked very impatient. I think they were like kind of a committee. That's the word that came in my mind when I woke up. I woke up in the middle of the night, okay? This was such a crazy dream. Let me show you. I woke up in the middle of the night, and then I took the notes to make this video. Because I was like, no, this is amazing. I have to tell everybody. So I felt like they were from a committee. And one of the men came to me and he was like, hey, the sponsors are not happy. A sponsor is someone who invests money in something, like in an event or, in universities. They are sponsors. So he said the sponsors are not happy. And then he mentioned the Louvre, the museum. I was like, they're not happy? Yeah, the Louvre is not happy. And I was like, why are they sponsoring me? Why is the Louvre sponsoring me? So in my mind, I was like, I have to do something. All in English, okay? In English, 100% in English. I have to do something. I need to do something. Do you want to know what I did? I asked people to subscribe to my channel. I will continue. And then I decided, you know what? I prepared myself. I started talking. That gave me an idea. I know what I can do. I started making the presentation that was a little different from the notes, okay? But I had to do something in the dream. Remember, I'm dreaming. So I started talking about the day that I made a presentation at Harvard, because yes, this is true about me. I went to Harvard and I studied business communication and professional communication. And there was one day at Harvard when the professor asked us to make a presentation without no visual aids, okay? And the dangers of technologies in our lives. And I chose a subject. And my presentation in the dream was, I told about the story of the day that I had to make a presentation and not use technology, not use visual aids. And then I connected with the idea of the danger of technology, or even notes. I connected with the notes and the problem that sometimes we trust the notes too much. We trust technology too much. And in fact, we should trust our brain. We should rely on our brain. And then I continued in the dream, in the presentation, that in life, some people will break the rules, but that does not mean we should do the same to succeed. Because breaking the rules is not nice. Because I remember that at Harvard, on that day when I made the presentation with no visual aids, there were two people who broke the rule, and they used PowerPoint slides, they used paper, they used gadgets to make the presentation. And I was very angry. But that was an important lesson to me. I can succeed, and I don't need to break the rules to be successful. And I don't need to use visual aids. And sometimes I will not have my notes, but I have my brain. I need to use my brain. That was in the dream, okay? So finally, I concluded the presentation. And then I was saying, I remember that at the end of the presentation, I looked at everybody and I said, are you preparing a presentation, or are you preparing yourself to transmit an idea? And then I woke up. And then I was like, oh my God, this is so cool. Are you preparing a presentation, or are you preparing yourself to express? That's the idea, the word that came to my mind, to express an idea. And then I freaking woke up. Now, guys, why am I telling you about this dream? Because it was 100% in English. So I am from Brazil. I am Brazilian. I wasn't born with a silver spoon in my mouth, rich family, from a rich family. I didn't go to the United States to learn English. I was already a teacher when I went to the US. I learned English in Brazil, mostly by myself. And now I think in English. Intentionally, yes, but also by accident, in my dreams. And I have students in my academy who have had the same experience, dreaming in English, start planning their days in English. So if I did it, if my students in the academy did it, so can you. So this dream inspired me to come here and make this video. Thinking in English is not so simple, but it can be done. The key to successfully thinking in English is to take action consistently. Follow the recommendations from this video. Subscribe to my channel if you enjoyed this lesson, and support me by sharing this with someone, because this dream was so impactful to me, because it showed me, girl, you made a presentation in English in your freaking dream. What? You can do this too. I hope you enjoyed it, but other than that, I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.